Armenia's year-on-year inflation rate fell to just 1.3% last month, down sharply from last year's peak inflation rate of 10.3% and well below the central bank's 4% target for this year. The Statistical Committee said this week prices for food and fuel were down significantly compared to last year, while costs for services continued to rise amid strong consumer demand. Despite falling inflation, the central bank has so far given no indications it plans to cut interest rates. At its most recent meeting last month, the bank board decided to leave its benchmark interest rate unchanged at 10.75%. In a press release, the board noted that the overall inflation environment remains elevated due to sustained high demand and pressures from the labor market. The central bank hiked interest rates 6 separate times last year, most recently in December, in an attempt to curb rising inflation. Monetary authorities often raise rates when they believe the economy has become overheated and prices are growing too quickly. Citing unnamed sources, the Russian business paper Kommersant reported this week that a number of Armenian banks have started blocking Russian firms from making payments for servers, microchips, telecoms equipment, and other electronics. Some banks in Hong Kong and Kazakhstan have apparently begun doing the same. Armenia's central bank has not denied the accuracy of Kommersant's reporting, telling Radio Azatutun, RFERL's Armenian service, that the terms for foreign transactions set by Armenian banks are being significantly tightened. The head of a Russian logistics company told Kommersant that Russia may face a shortage of critical electronics within 6 months or a year if Armenian and other foreign banks continue blocking payments for deliveries of those goods. However, a second Kommersant source said Russian companies could start listing electronics imports under alternative commodity codes in their customs declarations in order to continue buying blacklisted products. Trade between Armenia and Russia, the world's most sanctioned country, nearly doubled last year to top $5 billion, raising questions about Yerevan's role re-exporting foreign-made goods to Moscow. Earlier this year, the US government included Armenia in a list of transshipment points used by Russia to evade sanctions. Since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine last year, the United States has blacklisted 2 Armenian electronics dealers for allegedly doing business in Russia. Last month, Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan warned that Armenia cannot afford to be placed under Western sanctions. Team Telecom, one of Armenia's leading mobile network operators, said last week it will make an initial public offering of shares, marking the first time an Armenian telecommunications firm will go public. The company plans to sell 40 million shares, aiming to raise up to $21.5 million. Grigory Yurin, a Team Telecom spokesperson, told CivilNet those shares amount to about 17% of total ownership in the company. In a press release, Team Telecom said it will use the funds it raises to roll out a fiber optic next-generation network in Armenia and launch a 5G mobile network in the country. The IPO news came just days after Team Telecom revealed plans for a major expansion abroad, with the announcement it had struck a deal to take a 30% stake in the Georgian mobile network operator SkyTel. Ameria Bank, one of Armenia's biggest financial institutions, is acting as lead arranger for Team Telecom's IPO, which is set to run through October. After that, the company will be listed on the Armenia Securities Exchange, the country's sole stock exchange. Last month, CivilNet sat down with Konstantin Saroyan, former CEO of the Armenia Securities Exchange, to talk about why Armenia's capital markets have been slow to develop over the years. You can find our full conversation with Konstantin now on our website and YouTube channel. You can also check out our new interview with Diana Sarumova, Executive Director at the European Business Association in Armenia. Diana stopped by our studio this week to talk about Armenia's improving business environment, the challenges facing Armenian companies looking to expand abroad, and the importance of engaging the diaspora in Armenia's development. The full video is up now on our website and YouTube channel. And as always, please follow CivilNet for the latest news and independent journalism from our reporters on the ground in Armenia, Nagorno-Karabakh, and the region.